Hello, welcome to Caesar Snack Sandwich. Today I have a really quick video for you on flying tulip. Now, this is not a video on what flying tulip can do. I will talk a little bit about what they can do, but not very much, okay? That'll come in a different video perhaps in the future. This is more to talk about the public raise or the public sale that's going to happen and the cool mechanics that they've put into this public sale. So I got a flowchart for you to kind of go through every little step, and I'll do that in a sec. Suggest you to come to the docs and read the docs. All the information about the public sale is found here in the token section here. You can kind of read through this carefully and make sure and verify everything that I'm saying. But I do have the flowchart for you, so let's swing over to that. Okay, so here we are on the flowchart. We have dollar bill. He's got lots of capital. He wants to invest in something. He wants to get in early, right? So in this case, he's got these 4 tokens, right? But this is just to indicate that, you know, there are many choices, okay? So on that docs, it says USDC, USDT, Sky USDS, Ethena USDE, ETH, Sol, BTC, AVAX, Sonic S tokens. So I'm going to go through all the flow with just USDC, but keep in mind that all of these other options will be available most likely. Maybe some will be removed, maybe some will be added, but to give you the idea that there are going to be many options to invest your tokens in here to get a share of these flying tulip tokens, okay? So, like I said, he goes to the Flying Tulip pre-sale and he buys some of these tokens. So let's say he sends in 1,000 USDC or $1,000 worth of tokens. Then he gets $10,000 worth of FT tokens minted into an NFT. The NFT has the tokens inside it and keeps track of his investment of USDC in this case, right? So at any time he wants, after he has this NFT, he can exit this NFT. He can pull out his initial investment of USDC, and the subsequent or equivalent amount of FT tokens will be burned. So in this case, if he pulls out 100 of his $1,000, then 1,000 FT tokens would be burned. Now the opposite is true too. If he wants to pull out the FT tokens from this NFT, then he will get FT tokens, and the USDC that was backing those FT tokens will be used to buy FT tokens from the market and burn. So as you can see, he's pulling out 1,000 FT tokens, and $100 worth of that his investment is used to buy FT tokens from the market and sell them, okay? Now, you can do partial or all. So I assume you can do many partials, or you can empty this all in one clip. It's up to you. As an investor, you can exit anytime you want, and however much you want, you can reduce your risk. The only thing is you can't really add to your risk, right? Continue. So here we have the FT token and some data about it. So the FT token is going to be worth about 10 cents during the sale. Of course, the price will change based on future things, but at the time of the sale, it's 10 cents a piece, as you can obviously calculate based on the easy math above. The max supply is 10 billion tokens, and that's based on the sale. Okay, so if they raise $1 billion worth of NFTs, then 10 billion FT tokens would be minted, and that would be the max supply. If, you know, half of that, then only 5 billion or 1 billion or whatever the max supply is will be based on the participation in this sale, as well as, you know, the original VCs as well. So max supply 10 based on the sale. Okay, moving on. So these assets in this NFT are not really sitting in the NFT. They're put to work in various places. So dollar bills USDC will be sent to Aave version 3, and it will gain its Aave interest, which is, you know, generally around 3%, maybe goes up to 5 or 6%, you know, based on Aave's interest rate on AUSD. So all of that USDC is not sitting idle. It's sent to blue chip yield farming opportunities to gain some APR. Now, The doc does kind of go through all of the assets, and I've kind of put them all here to kind of let you look at them. I'm not going to read them all, but you get the idea that, like, you know, most of them are going to Aave and like all safe places, but there are a few that I don't know, like WBTC is not talked about in the documentation. I don't know what if they are going to use WBTC to wrap BTC and send that WBTC to Aave. I don't know. And as well as the Sonic token, it doesn't say where it's going to be sent for yield, so I don't know, maybe STS, like from Beats, like staked ETH or staked Sonic, or maybe, you know, Silo, or I don't know, right? But anyways, all of the assets that are sent as the pre-sale will be put to work in various yield farms. There will be no bridging of any assets anywhere, so remove the bridging risk, and there'll be no leverage, so no possible of liquidations and stuff like that, just straight single-sided yield farming opportunities, okay? Moving on, because Aave and all of these yield farmings have interest on them, they have APR. That APR will be used to always buy back the FT token and burn it. Okay, so all of this 3% or 5%, whatever it happens to be, will be periodically taken and used to buy and burn the FT token. So as you can see, based on so far, he's guaranteed to be able to take his original assets out, and he's most likely able to take out FT at a price higher than 10 cents, as long as he waits for some of these yield farms to generate some yield and start buying and burning the tokens. Okay, now moving on, there's also the Flying Tulip protocol itself. Now, like I said, I'm not going to get into all of the system and all of the details of the Flying Tulip services, but there are a list in that documentation, so let's quickly go through them. There'll be opportunities for people to do delta neutral USDs, so, you know, some sort of delta neutral on stable coins, right? It's going to be a DEX, so there's going to be some DEXs. There's going to be a CLOB as well as derivative and insurance vehicles. So a lot of products inside the Flying Tulip umbrella, and all of those will be generating some revenue for Flying Tulip, and all of that revenue will be used to buy Flying Tulip token and burn it. Okay, it also says in that documentation that anyone who uses Flying Tulip services will get their APR in Flying Tulip tokens. So everything, all of the money made with Flying Tulip will be used to buy Flying Tulip tokens, but any of the like fees are generated by the protocol itself, the service fees for using this, all of those will be used to buy Flying Tulip and burn it. So the revenue from the Flying Tulip, any of those buyback tokens will be monitored, and they will use them to mint some FT tokens. So they'll monitor this burning of FT tokens, and they will mint an equivalent one-to-one amount and use it to pay different entities. So those entities are, for example, incentives, so like liquidity, mining, rewards on gauges, or anybody who needs to be incentivized. 40% of those tokens will go to the foundation, which is kind of like the DAO treasury, and 20% will go to the ecosystem, which I assume is maybe some sort of airdrop or something, and then 20% goes to the team. So that's what makes this really special, is that, you know, the team and all of these other things, they're not going to take any of the VC money and use it to pay the devs. They're only going to use revenue generated by Flying Tulip to pay for all of these features. And the VCs, or the initial investment capital, will only be used to buy back and burn FT tokens, and that's it. So that's it for today. I hope this has been useful and interesting. I think this is really good because in DeFi we can build things like this that are like sustainable, safe investment vehicles where it's like a no loss investment vehicle. So I hope this has been useful. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.